On a completely different side note, have you ever watched that Thomas the Tank Engine? Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine. Let me remind you, I am 7 years old. Not really. Mentally. There was a Thomas the Tank Engine episode where it was talking about the fog. I think it was called the foghorn. And basically, the Fat Controller decides to install a foghorn
on a Pycon.
What? I know what a Pycon is. I know what a foghorn is. I can't link the two together.
Okay, to those viewers who don't know what a Pycon is, the Pycon is a legendary Iranian car of the highest quality of construction. By that
based on the Hillman Hunter.
Shitty quality of construction.
Based on the Hillman Hunter.
I can say that because the company that makes it has stopped making it. It sold the entire production line to some company in Sudan. Anyways, so in Iran, from what I've read, big car mean you have right of way on road.
Well, might is right.
Which is pretty much any country, isn't it?
No. More like most third world countries with undeveloped infrastructure.
Anyways, the point is, so you have big car, you have right of way, yes? Or truck, as it may be. So apparently some clever people decide to add foghorns onto their Pycons, so that they go boot boot, everybody drives to the side, and then you see this shitty little sedan just driving past.
Have I told you a story about my dad, Salika? Remember? Because there was that one time there was a typhoon in Hong Kong and it was very wet, and mind you, none of my family members are afraid of driving in the rain, including myself, even though I've never done it. I'm not afraid of being in a car in the rain, never. It's just Hong Kong people are frightened to death because of it. Literally, like 2 nights ago when I went, was it 2 nights ago? Or was it? Yeah, it was. When I went, actually no, it was last night. God, this is Christmas dinner. And because it gets really dark here, and it was raining pretty nastily 2 days ago, actually. Yes, it was 2 days ago. Now my memory's back on track. Drove back. It was 4 p.m. and it's already, well, 3:30. It was already pitch black.
Is the tea bottle.
3:30, and it was already pitch black, and it was pissing it down with rain. And we're doing 50 miles an hour to the countryside. And around 50 miles an hour, for most people in Hong Kong, is fairly quick, because 50 miles an hour is what, like 70 kilometers an hour? I'm not bothered to the conversion because I'm a lazy git. And we were going at a fair speed, going through really deep puddles, and I just literally thought, if this was a Hong Kong person riding, you know, in the car with the man that was driving, they would be pissing their pants. Because you don't encounter rain, as you know, as thick as this, with puddles as deep as this, on a road with no streetlights in the countryside. But I'm fine with it. I lived in the country for 7 years. I know exactly what it's like.
The taxi driver who drove me back from the airport, because can't be fucked with the MTR.
It's expensive on the MTR as well.
Baggage. Yeah, so might as well go the full 9 yards. The taxi driver who drove back, the speed limit on that stretch of road is like, what, 80 kph, I think. Citation needed.
70, 80.
This lunatic was driving at 140. Which is nearly the max speed of a taxi.
Yeah, you see, though, don't you remember this? Well, hang on. Before I go to my story of my taxi journey, and we talk about how taxis are so unbelievably dangerous to ride in Hong Kong.
And minibuses.
And minibuses, yeah. Now, the Sleeker that my dad had, right? He runs over through a typhoon, and water got up in the wheel well, obviously, because, you know, the wheels throw the water back up, and that's where the horn is. And the horn was flooded, and so I think it short-circuited and it died. So my dad decided to replace it with a truck horn. So
what you're telling me is the weather got right up into his grill, so he decided to retaliate.
Yes, and he put a truck horn on it. It's magnificent. I want to put a truck horn on my Civic when I get back to Hong Kong, if I have any time soon with the money. I saw, oh god, I started to show you that video of those guys who put a train horn on their Toyota and went around scaring people. Because a train horn is literally an air horn that's like, what, 30 cm long. And I think there's two of them. He put them. There was no space underneath the bonnet, so he had to put them on underneath his car. He just drove around to like open air restaurants or like parks and just blew the horn. But anyway, my taxi story. I told you this before, I'm pretty sure. When I went to Thailand, we left the house at 5 or so in the morning to catch an early plane because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And get into the taxi, and we're driving along just fine, you know? Everything was fine. And obviously, because taxi drivers in Hong Kong, they drive quickly, let's say, even though the taxis aren't very good at dealing with speed.
Oh.
They're not very stable either. They have... taxis in Hong Kong are very, very simple in terms of design. They're very simple. It's a 3-box design, front engine, rear-wheel drive, and it's a solid rear axle. It's a solid rear axle. It doesn't have independent rear suspension. It's fairly old in design.
So those taxis have been around since what is the model of the taxi again? Toyota
Crown Comfort.
Crown Comfort. Ah, that's why I couldn't.
Design released in '95. Designed for use as a taxi cab because it's meant to be as simple to construct, and it's also meant to be long. It's meant to have good longevity, you know, and simple to build and long lasting. But they're very simply built. Okay. They are robust, but the reason why they're robust is because they have very few components to go wrong. Only recently have they installed like electric windows in the back.
Oh, so you're telling me it's a TIE fighter?
Let's not go there, shall we? Because
Let's not go to why that's the worst starfighter.
Yeah. But anyway, and so we're heading along, and we come out one of the tunnels going through the mountains on the way to the airport, and it starts to spit down with rain, and we're already going at a fair rate, I think about 120, and it starts pissing it down. Guy reaches over to turn the wipers on. They don't work. Wipers are dead.
Wow.
We're doing 120. You know? But the thing is, the faster you drive now, there's a certain speed which you reach once the wind gets strong enough against the windscreen. It'll start blowing the water off. You know? Mm-hmm. And so he's going along. And for some I don't understand why he did this, alright? It must have been a case of common sense out the window. He opened the window, grabbed a tissue, and started trying to lean out of the window and started trying to wipe the windscreen, okay? Now, the reason why you can do this in a Hong Kong taxi is because their dashboards are very, very short to maximize interior space in the cabin, even though the vehicle isn't actually that long. There's actually a lot of space in the cabin because the dashboard is so short, so that's why he's so close to the windscreen. He literally opened the window, grabbed a tissue, and started trying to wipe the windscreen free of water. I sat there in the back just going, what the fuck are you doing, man? It's not going to work. The rain's got to come down. You got a 2-ply tissue that's made by Kleenex. You're leaning out the window trying to wipe it off. You can't even reach around to the front of the screen where you're looking through. You can only reach to the corner of the windscreen, and you're trying to wipe it off. And there's more rain coming down, and you're going at 120. So obviously, you know, the speed at which you're traveling at, and with the combined speed of the rain coming down, meeting the windscreen, it's going to fill up with water in about half a second. You know? I mean, both my parents and I were giggling away, you know, telling him just to drive faster because it'll blow the water off. And we're not scared, you know, because we're used to the rain. And you can still make out the shape of the road markings, so it's fine. And we had to pull over to the side of the road. He tried to restart the car in order to try and, you know, see if we can kick the windscreen motors back into life. And we just thought, no, this is not going to work. It's not a case of have you turn it off and turn it back on again. No, it's not going to work. Also, I'm probably speaking too fast. Yeah.
Common sense, not very common these days.
Yeah. And so basically we ended up doing the rest of the entire journey at 120 kilometers an hour, which is about 10 kilometers an hour over the speed limit there, which I think it was about 110. With him swearing his ass off, complaining about his manager because he told his manager to replace the unit, and his manager apparently was too cheap to replace it. And so it was an amusing and slightly danger-fraught ride. To put it, you know, bluntly.
Speaking of incidents with drivers, didn't you... Sorry, I'm just opening a pack of Gillian chocolate now.
I have a lot of snacks around me and haven't eaten one of them yet.
Gillian or Gillian? I don't know. Anyways, back to the story. Wasn't there a case where you swore at a man who was pulsing his horn?
Yes, I did. That was magnificent.
Didn't you say, listen, you dense motherfucker?
No, actually...
You're causing a public disturbance.
Basically, it was this ass hat in an Audi TT. Okay, I will go into the full length of why, you know, he was an asshat, right? Now, where we lived, there was massive gridlock. You couldn't go anywhere, okay?
Don't mind
Actually,
me, I still want me
people had
claws.
blown their horns already, but I think we had reached the point where the gridlock was so bad, people just gave up because it was pretty
Right.
much pointless, right? Now this asshole is trying to get out of a side turn. Unfortunately, there's Discovery blocking his way. But there's nothing the Discovery can do because there's traffic behind and in front of the driver of the Discovery. The Discovery is a long, big vehicle in conturn. Personally, I think it's wrong for you to buy a Discovery in Hong Kong, but whatever. You spent your money, and now you're blocking the road, whatever. Just wait for it to
You
clear
made
up.
your bed, now sleep in it.
Exactly. You don't go in grave, no lie in it. But this idiot, right, in the Audi, he is the kind of douchebag who wears his cap backwards, right?
Is it one of those baseball caps with a lot of space between the head and the top of the hat, which rappers wear?
Yes, okay, yeah, another one of my pet peeves. Why the fuck do you buy a cap and not wear it? You just place it on top of your head with a massive gap, trying to indicate the fact that you have a bullet-shaped head, also indicating the fact that your brain actually doesn't occupy that space. You know? I hate people who wear caps like that. Even with my new Hat
And
Films,
there-
even with my new Hat Films cap, which is very airy, I put it on my head. I wear it, not put it on top of my head. I actually put it on, as in down. But anyway, he wore it backwards, okay? And he's one of those guys which you knew he wore the diaper kind of pants, okay? I'm pretty sure, okay? He wore the pants that catch your shit if you shit yourself, you know? And anyway, he was in his Audi TT, which couldn't afford an Audi R8 or an Audi S5. And he had wrapped it, okay? But you know this is a man of poor taste, because yes, I know brown can be a nice color if it is a creamy, rich brown, you know? You know, if you go in Jalopnik, you know, the standard lore is that one of the best cars to ever have is a manual, brown, rear-wheel drive, diesel wagon. Brown can be a lovely color. You can have lovely shades of creamy brown. This guy, though, chose one of the worst kinds of brown you could possibly have, a glittery poo brown. Metallic blue poo brown. I don't know how that's even possible. Metallic poo brown. He wrapped his Audi TT with it, okay? And this is the kind of guy that drives around with the spoiler up, okay? Now the spoiler on Audi TT isn't up normally. It only comes above 75 miles an hour, or I think citation needed first question mark. But there is also a button which you can press to have it deployed to make you look like a twat when driving around. The spoiler on a TT is tiny anyway. Why would you put it up for the sake of it? You know, it doesn't impress anybody. But he puts it up anyway because obviously he's driving around and says, "Oh yeah, look at me."
Are you sure you're talking about
It's
the
only a little spoiler,
spoiler?
like it's little, like your dick.
I was just going to say, are you talking about the spoiler being up or something else?
He can't get it up. He needs Viagra. And anyway, he was pulsing away at his horn. Okay. Now, when you lay on your horn, yeah, it's annoying enough. When you lay on the horn, it's annoying enough.
Can I just interrupt your story very quickly?
Yeah.
Speaking about that, do you know what they called Viagra on TV on the TV news? Because the police got a bunch of fake, a load of it that was fake, as well as other illegal drugs. Do you know what they called it?
No.
Health medicine specifically for men. Anyways, continue on with this.
No. Okay, on another tangent, Viagra apparently could also help prevent having an edema at high altitudes. It has other side effects, But anyway, okay. Now you know people who lay on the horn. That's bad enough. But this guy was pulsing the horn, And he was doing it for at least 30 seconds. And I would not that, it was rapid. It had a fair frequency to it, And for 30 seconds. Now, 30 seconds might not seem very long, but if we sit here right now and see how long 30 seconds actually is, it gets annoying after a while, doesn't it? Okay? And people were looking at him. People were looking.
Giving him the stare.
Yeah, not the stare, more like giving him the stank. And I gave him one hell of a stank, and then I just screamed at him, you're right, shut the fuck up. I literally screamed in the middle of the street, shut the fuck up, because it was getting really annoying, because, yes, the gridlock had been going on for at least half an hour already, and it was pretty frustrating, I know. But when you reach the point when even the taxi driver has given up beeping, you know it's bad. And this guy thinks, oh, look, Discovery in front of me, I'm gonna pulse my horn. Bitch, shut the fuck up, because no one's interested in the fact that you have a little brain and a little penis. And so he pulsed away at the horn. What?
Oh, go on, go on.
Yes, and then he pulls the horn, and I scream, "Shut the fuck up!" And then he opened the window, okay, and he tried to shout back at me. Now, my English is fairly fluent, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, you can judge by the fact that I've been speaking fluently English for the past, how long have we been recording?
40 minutes.
40 minutes, okay? He isn't. So we got his daddy's money to buy a TT and wear clothes like that, right? And so he shouts back with an accent. I'm not going to try and imitate his accent because 1, I can't, and 2, I will laugh too much.
3, it would be condemned as racist, despite the fact we're the same race, actually.
Yes. Let's not go into the whole racist thing because, seriously.
No, let's just not. Let's
But
not.
he shouted at me with an accent, okay? And basically he told me, he just asked me, what do you want? Do you want to call the fucking police? And I just went, bitch, the police are 300 meters up the road. I don't need to call them. They can hear you. You know? And he continued to try and argue with me, okay, in English. But trying to argue with somebody, you know, who can speak superior English
in a
than
language
you,
you're not familiar with.
you know, that's kind of, you know, pointless, you know?
It's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot.
I just threw sass in his direction. I was like, bitch, I don't need to call the police. The police are 300 meters low. Their headquarters are 300 meters up the road. They got their flags flying, you know, and their cars all ready. They can hear you. You know? And then, and the thing is, his girlfriend was not too impressed. She was like, honey, stop. You know? And I was just like, bitch, I don't need to talk to anyone. You're making a farce of yourself. You're the one that's doing all the shouty noises, you know? Well, I was shouting a lot more than he was because he couldn't converse in a language that was, you know, fluent enough. But then he gave up, you know, just rolled the back out, and I just went.
Speaking of this honey business, right?
Yes.
You can translate the next bit of conversation if you want. My grandmother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heard from a friend about these this girl going up to do an interview, right?
Yeah.
For work, and then so she brought her boyfriend with her.
Okay.
Now this you can already tell this is gonna end quite badly, right?
Yeah.
The boyfriend says to her, because she seems a bit nervous about the interview, honey, 你唔使驚啊，你一出嚟就見到我啦。In English, that is, honey, don't worry, because once you come out, you will be able to see me. If that happens during your interview, you should kill yourself.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, be reminded that we are pretty radical thinkers. Well, I'm slightly militant. He is on a whole other league of militantism.
Militantism, indeed.
Yeah. Well, we took that. Remember we took that political inclination scale thing. So that was militant.
Noting, of course, that our airsoft gun stash is enough to arm IRA cell.
Le hush. Yes, le hush. Because no.
Yeah. No.
Yes. But anyway. Yeah, so
this
that was
channel
the story.
does not endorse the methods of the IRA.
Yes, but anyway, that was a story.
It has no view on the IRA. In fact.
That is the story of me shouting at some cock in the street.
What? Oh. I was thinking, what's that got to do with the IRA?
Take that as you will, but yes. That's the story of me shouting at a douchebag that was pulsing away at his horn. Listen, man. I don't know how you got a girlfriend, but seriously. First thing you should do, just unwrap your Audi TT because you literally look like you're driving a turd.
Actually, I've never really been a fan of Audis, except I've just typed in audio as opposed to Audi.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you hear typing on our keyboards, that means we're looking up things that we're not too sure that are citation needed source question mark.
I think it's the R8 that I thought looked all right.
Have you seen the new R8?
No.
They facelifted
I don't
Audi R8,
think
yeah.
so. Oh god, do you actually want to talk about facelifted cars? And by this I mean the Volkswagen Beetle.
Facelifted or just brand new model? Because a facelift and a new model are completely different things.
Okay, so let's inform the audience. So the Volkswagen Beetle, you've obviously got the oldest one, which was built in the time of one Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler. Adolf, that's quite American, isn't it?
I ran!
Anyway. Oh, you ran? Well, I don't care about your jogging schedule. Let's go back to the Middle East, shall we?
Yes.
Anyways, so you've got the original Volkswagen Beetle, the Type 1, which was... It is the Type 1, right?
Yes. It's always been the Type
Yes.
1. It's officially known as Type 1 in company.
There's the original one, the old one, which they stopped building in 03.
Yeah.
Which is the Hitler one. Unfortunately, that's the only way I can make sure people know it is that one. Then you've got the new one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which looks, quite frankly, like a piece of shit.
It was meant to appeal to the new age hippie thing.
No, it looks like a piece of shit.
New age hippie thing.
I'm not even going to entertain... apparently it's literally called the new Beetle.
Yes, it's called the new Beetle. And it's everything people thought it shouldn't be. The only good version of the new Beetle, a lot of people say, is the later turbocharged one.
Oh,
the
I'll get onto that
3.2
later.
RSI with the VR6 engine, because it was at least exciting enough. Because basically the new Beetle was a Golf with a curved body, a curvy body on top of it. The only plus points people could really make about the new Beetle over a Golf you could buy was that there was more headroom inside, because it was a semicircle shape, and that the 3.2 RSI was actually interesting, and that it came with a vase.
Hold on, I will get to the RSI in due time. The new Beetle looks like a toy.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, you can imagine it in a Playmobil set. Oh my god.
Oh, we type in the same
Many
thing now.
special editions have been released, such as the Malibu Barbie new Beetle. Well, that proves my point,
Excuse
doesn't
me?
it? That fucking proves my point, doesn't it? It doesn't it also pretend to be a rear-engined car?
No.
Like, doesn't the look pretend to be one, if I remember correctly? No, it doesn't. I'm
No, you
thinking
can't
of
really say.
something else.
It's a very symmetrical shape. You can't really
Sorry.
pretend it's a rear-engine car. But
That was something else, sorry. It must have been a different car. Anyways, moving
oh
on
no!
to the...
If you wanted illusions of rear-engine cars, look at a lot of old muscle cars. They have fake vents on in front of their rear wheels.
Look at the RSI. Look at the front, okay?
Yeah, the front air down. That is very clearly a front-engine car.
Tell me that it is not trying to pretend to look slightly like a Porsche, but not really.
Rough CTR. Anyway.
Anybody who owns this car deserves to be taken out back and shot.
But at least it was the only exciting Beetle.
I'd rather drive a Pycan.
Yeah.
Shit has gone down when you'd rather drive a Pycan.
I
In
wonder
fact,
how
my
mu-
dream...
actually, I wonder
Cheap.
how much the RSI was, because...
Oh, I thought you meant the Pycan. The RSI!
It's based on a VW Golf R32. So
Do
it has,
you care? Are you planning to buy one?
I'd rather have an R32. And I am not a Volkswagen fan. Not really.
Basically almost £13,000.
What, for a second-hand one?
From what I can tell. Hold on.
Auto Trader. Make Volkswagen. Model. Beetle. New...
New Beetle.
No, it doesn't give the old Beetle. Search cars. Model variant. RSI. V6. What? No.
Meanwhile, I'm just looking at a Hongqi.
Really?
Yes. It's actually not very cheap from what I remember. Yeah, the new Hongqi HQE. Oh god. The front's a bit special. Apparently it costs 1.2 million US dollars, according to Wikipedia.
Well, it is a limousine. It's the
Look
first
at the
Chinese.
front!
It looks like it's been given a massive wedgie. It's the first Chinese-built V12 equipped luxury car.
I'd rather have the old Hongqi.
Didn't those leak?
Yeah, but it looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen the real one in the... Oh crap, what's the museum in Beijing called? The military one.
I haven't been, so...
Oh, there was a great big SA2 in there. Well, technically HQ2. Which is really a Chinese SA2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
I've
had
been.
a
I've seen.
massive
I've
SA2.
seen one of the new Hongqis in real life because I went to.
Oh, really?
I went to a motor show. It's quite big. It's fairly enormous,
Okay.
but nothing really spectacular to
Oh,
crow about,
whoops.
if I'm honest.
Indeed. I'm still searching for that museum. Oh, the is it this one?
Which one?
Yes, the Military Museum of the Chinese People's Revolution.
Okay.
Quite a mouthful of a name. Oh yeah, they had a Dongfeng 2 on its side as well. So yeah, you got to see a ballistic missile. And when I went, it was renovating, so stuff was outdoors.
All right. Oh yeah, you told me that. Yeah, it was too tall for the canopy.
Yeah, they had to put it horizontally, the HQ2, because it was so fucking big.
Yeah, but then back to the Beetle.
Yeah, back to the shitty piece of shit fucking dome fuck thing.
Have you seen the latest one? It seems as though someone sat on it.
What? Oh, is it the Ragster concept?
No. Go.
This I imagine to be included in a Barbie doll set.
No. Go back up. Volkswagen Beetle A5. Go back to chronology at the top in the box on the right. There's a new Beetle now. They've updated the Volkswagen Beetle A5. This makes no
dear.
pretense of the fact that it's rear-engined at all.
Oh, this was the thing that I said tried to look Porsche. Sorry, this is the one. Not the RSI, though the RSI is VW Beetle Turbo Black.
What?
Now,
Oh yeah.
the viewers...
Most of them have
the
turbos
viewers-
now.
The listeners cannot see this picture, but this picture shows it on what appears to be a seaside area. Shove that car into the sea.
It looks almost like Hong Kong.
Does it?
It looks almost
Almost.
like Hong Kong.
There's a really weird man in the picture. One of them looks a bit like one of our teachers. Let's not go deep.
Yeah, that's
into
like
this.
I think that's in Austria.
Is it?
Yeah, because I just googled the that banner at the back. It says Reifnitz, and that's someplace in Wörthersee in Austria apparently.
Oh.